We've really been waiting for this moment for over 15 years. Finally, the brand new 6th generation 2025 Toyota 4Runner is on sale. Isn't that right, Kase?
Absolutely, and in this video, we are going to look at this very inexpensive SR5 model that comes in at the bottom of the 4Runner lineup and work our way through most of the major trims all the way up to the TRD Pro.
Exactly. This is kind of a buyer's guide. So in this video, you'll be able to see several trim levels of the new 4Runner back to back to back. So you can see with your own eyes, and we can kind of crawl inside of these. And so you can decide which new 4Runner is best for you. And this, my friend, is actually a two-wheel drive model.
It is. So if you're looking at this 4Runner thinking that those side steps and that skirt at the bottom of the front bumper are going to be bad for off-roading, well, it's pretty much of no consequence because, yeah, this is what I like to call affectionately a two-runner.
Well, but some people, want an SUV, but they don't necessarily go off-road, which is kind of what this is all about. And the base price for a brand new 6th gen 4Runner starts at just under 41 grand, right?
Exactly.
Plus about $1,400 destination charges. And Toyota, I think, surprised a lot of us because they're actually including a third row seat in a lot of these, specifically the SR5 trim levels and also in the limited trim level. But Kase, where would you go if you wanted to kind of talk to some of the other people who are really interested in the brand new 4Runner?
Well, it's a good thing you bring that up because today's video sponsor is 4runner6g.com. So that is a forum for everything that you could possibly want to know about the new 6th generation 4Runner.
4runner6g.com, they're on top of the news. They have all the latest information, latest pricing, latest options. It's a community of like-minded individuals who really care about these vehicles. Because Toyota, these have been around for over 41 years. This is now 6th generation of this SUV.
Yeah, exactly. And now, getting into the tailgate here, we'll see kind of an interesting split. So this one being a 3-row 4Runner.
Yeah.
If you look with the third row in place, there's going to be very little space behind it, which is unsurprising for a vehicle this size.
There's a little cubby for some tools. Check it out, dude. Like you said, there's a lot of space, and this is not a hybrid either. So there's two powertrain options for the new 4Runner. There's a base turbocharged engine, the 2.4 liter, with 278 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque. And there's a hybrid that we'll show you in a few minutes. But because you don't have the battery here, you do have the seats, and you do have a lot of space.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say that it's exactly perfectly flat. There's kind of a slight angle to it when everything is all laid out, but still a pretty decent size cargo space. I think though, Andre, that it is about time for you to test out the third row.
Are you sure?
I think so. I think that's what the people want to see.
Let me get the seat.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tight squeeze for you and for the bags.
Okay.
So Andre is about, what, 6'2"?
Almost 6'3", yep.
Yeah, so I'm not going to claim that this back seat is really designed for someone like yourself. No offense. Oh, no.
I have a head problem. Headroom problem.
Yeah. I hate to do this to you.
Oh, boy. You know what? I'm barely in here. My knees are touching. My head is crooked. I wouldn't want to be here for more than a few minutes.
No, so if you have kids, it has a third row in a pinch, but I wouldn't recommend trying to squeeze an Andre back there.
No, please don't squeeze me back here.
Now here in the second row, Andre, even on this SR5, we've got vents for the rear seat passengers, which is really nice. We've also got a nice outlet and a couple USB-C ports.
Even like with this kind of Softex, kind of this cloth like material, it feels really good. I don't feel like it's cheap. I do have my armrest here with cup holders. I have a lot of space actually. If the seat was moved up a little bit, I would have a pretty good knee space as well.
So the second row is a big improvement over the third.
Yeah, and also the wheelbase of the new 4Runner 6th gen is a little bit stretched by a couple of inches related to the outgoing 5th gen. So you do have a tiny bit extra space in here.
Now, Andre, I feel a little bad because I probably would have fit a little better in the third row. But here I am in the front seat, checking out everything up here. And this is, of course, a base model, so we have a lot of base model amenities up here. So many blank switches where we would have some of the off-road features on different models. You don't have ventilated seats. We do have heated seats on this model, but no heated steering wheel. Got a much smaller center screen and a much more simple instrument cluster layout.
Right here. That would be a trailer brake controller that you don't have?
Yeah, so no trailer brake controller here. Although it is worth mentioning now that the new 4Runner is capable of towing about 6,000 pounds. Now, a step up from the SR5, we have this TRD Sport. This is going to give you some of those TRD elements, but not necessarily the TRD Off-Road elements, because you can get the TRD Sport in just rear-wheel drive, or like this particular one in the way that it's optioned, you can get it four-wheel drive as well, right, Andre?
Exactly, dude, and I love these wheels. They're 20s, and I think they look really, really sharp, and it's more of kind of a street performance vehicle, not off-road.
And we've got body color matched fender flares there, a lot of body color matching, but also a couple black pieces for a bit of contrast. We've also got a hood scoop here up top, kind of like what you see on the TRD Pros. Coming around to the rear though, you can tell that this is still somewhat of a more basic model because this is a manual.
Wait, you have to lift it by yourself?
You do.
Okay.
There's struts that help you out. It's not too bad. And then because this is not a hybrid, we've got a little bit of a lower floor here in the cargo area, so a bit more space in the rear and a lower lift-over height.
Dude, I really love this space because if you got a hybrid, this, the floor would be up to here.
It's up quite a bit.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that I think you and I both really like about this TRD Sport is the interior. And if we pop open a door, once again, color matched on the door handles, but this interior has a pretty cool look to it, mostly just because they've brought some blue onto the dash and onto the door cards. It says TRD on the door cards as well. Now, this is not the TRD Sport Premium, so we've got a smaller screen here, but we still have some pretty nice features spec'd out on this one. We've still got heated seats, we still have a heated steering wheel, and then if we look down at the shifter here, this is a four-wheel drive. So it's kind of a nice mix of being a little bit basic, but it still gives you some of the more essential features that you need. This is a little bit of a sweet spot, I think, in a lineup.
But I think this blue may be too much for some folks, so
That's
you kind
fair.
of have to decide, do you like this blue trim or not?
I think with the white and black exterior, bringing a little color into the interior gives it a good look, but that could depend on the person.
But dude,
sure.
most importantly, how much, dude?
I think this one was about $49, wasn't it?
Yeah, let's check it out.
Yeah, so we can see the sheet here, yeah. 49,000.
There's the power specs as always.
278 and 317.
Nice. And by the way, all of them have Toyota Safety Sense 3.0. This is the adaptive cruise control system, blind spot monitor. It's a pretty robust system, but it's not a hands-free.
Yeah, there's a lot
driving.
that comes standard with these.
All right, so now we're getting into more of an off-road specification. What you see right here is the new TRD Off-Road model. And this is actually almost fully loaded TRD Off-Road model. This is a premium, and it also has the hybrid iForce Max powertrain. You can see right here, this is Heritage Blue, I think one of the best and coolest colors you can get in the new 6th generation 4Runner. But visually, there's a couple of things that distinguish it. Of course, the wheel is a little bit unique. You can kind of see this ring around it. Supposed to remind you of a beadlock capable wheel. Of course, this is not a beadlock capable wheel, just for style. Then you can also get this, which is a pretty beefy step. I like it that doesn't stick out too far, but still it feels pretty heavy.
So now that we've stepped into a hybrid model, we're looking at 326 horsepower and 465 pound-feet of torque.
Yeah, let me pop the hood really quick.
Plus a little bit of extra fuel economy. I'm gonna let you walk around and pop the hood since I'm holding the camera.
Okay.
But with this hybrid powertrain, you can expect to get a little bit better fuel economy in the city. It's about the same on the highway, but maybe 4 extra mpg.
In the city.
Or so in the city.
Yeah.
So instead of like 19 mpg, you could be looking at about 23 mpg in the city, which is not nothing. That's definitely useful to have.
Yeah, and of course, 8-speed is still here. That's the only automatic you can get. That's the only transmission, really. But you are getting that additional city fuel efficiency, but you're also paying for it. This system, oh, sorry, I'm flying away. This system is about $2,800. So the TRD Off-Road model also comes with Bilstein shocks and rear locking differential, and it starts at just under 50 grand for the non-premium one, right? There's also a $1,400 destination charge, but this price is a bit higher because this is the premium specification that I'll show you on the inside. Check this out.
What do you got?
It says Toyota here.
It sure does.
And then you can do this. You could twist it, remove it. It's a little light. Look at this.
Oh, that is pretty cool, Andre. I've got to give you that. That's useful. It's even got a red function, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, for nighttime.
Yeah, and of course,
that's pretty neat.
That's not the only battery-powered thing that you can pop out of the dash on this vehicle. Oh, the wind is pushing me.
You also have the JBL system.
Exactly.
This is the premium edition. You also have auxiliary switches. You can control the level of your headlamps. So if you're loaded heavy or if you're pulling a trailer.
Look at that power adjust on the steering column too.
Yeah, a lot of fancy features. Of course, you had the sliding rear glass. Because it's a hybrid, you're losing a little bit of space here, but there's a cubby.
Yeah, so the liftover height is on the taller side, and then this net, potentially useful if you don't want things rolling out of your trunk, but it also increases an already pretty high liftover height.
This one does not have the third row, but you can get it in the other one, like we showed it. But you cannot do it, of course, with this hybrid powertrain. But there's another thing. It says, there's an Easter egg here. It says 4Runner forever.
Now inside of the 4Runner, Andre, where the wind is not quite as aggressive.
It's pretty intense out there. Well, you can see the latest premium interior here in the TRD Off-Road. I wanted to call out a couple things. First of all, the drive mode selector. You know, this is very similar to how the Tacoma does it as well.
Yep.
You could click this, and you could go between 2 high, 4 high, and 4 low. Once again, part-time 4-wheel drive system. You have multi-terrain select. You have cruise control. You have tow and haul mode. You have trailer backup assist, cameras, and of course your rear locking differential. You have wireless charger for your phone right here.
We've also got some massive screens here.
Yes,
in
this is
model.
a 14-incher.
Yeah, so huge center screen. Of course, yeah, digital instrument cluster. We've also got the camera.
Wait a minute. What is that first gen doing in our rear view?
Yeah, that is something that we actually just filmed. So if you want to see that, there's a whole video all about that one. But it's definitely a big update over the previous generation interior. And as you step up into these more premium models, you do get some pretty nice features. Yeah,
and of course this is an optional, not a panoramic sunroof, but at least a sunroof. And that is an option. And altogether, the price, the sticker price on this TRD Off-Road is $59,000, about $500. So almost 60K. My friend, this is the only time a limited edition 4Runner is going to have this much mud on it, right?
Well, unless we get our hands on one.
But we wanted to show it to you because it has a couple of very distinct features, right, that make it special. So we showed already the SR5, right? That's the base.
Yep.
Above the SR5, there's the TRD Sport. There's a TRD Off-Road, and then there's this.
This one is highly optioned, as we'll show you in a moment. So it is 4-wheel drive and it is hybrid. And then even a slight step above this, but a very similar idea to the Limited, you can also get the Platinum. Both the Limited and the Platinum are more of a luxury trim.
Exactly, and it shows, right? On this Limited, you see a little bit of chrome. I usually don't like chrome, but I think it's done very tastefully in this case. And then you see a lot of just body color components, a little bit of silver. Of course, you have the chin spoiler on this guy. It's not really supposed to be an off-roader, like you can see by the tires. It does not have specifically an off-road tire, but it does have a 20-inch wheel. This is a 265/55 R20.
Look at that, power steps, Andre. And that leads us into the interior. This is going to be one of the big selling points here.
Very sweet, dude. It feels really premium. Of course, gigantic screen. But this also has something very distinct to all other 4Runners. It's a full-time four-wheel drive system, which is a little bit extra, right? You have to pay more for this, but it's kind of works by itself. It's always set to 4 high F. You can go lock the center differential, or you can make it low range.
Exactly. So you've still got the low range capability there, but the nice thing is because you're always in 4-wheel drive, you can set it and forget it. If you live in a snowy climate, you don't have to go back and forth between 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive because there isn't a 2-wheel drive option.
Exactly. And we'll show you a TRD Pro. And very similar with that, the Trailhunter do not have the system. So if you really want this full-time system, I mean, limited is one of your only choices as far as the 4Runner lineup is concerned.
Basically the Platinum and the Limited are going to be your options for that.
And the Platinum is actually has a little bit more blacked out trim, like blacked out wheels, badging, grills, etc. And the Platinum is a little bit more money than the Limited. The price of this one, $62,000.
Yeah, so it's not inexpensive.
Yeah, so we already showed you the TRD Off-Road. That was about $59,000. Now we're stepping up a little bit higher. But show them there. Actually, let's show the rear.
Yeah, this is going to be, again, similar to what we see on some other 4Runners. We've still got our vents and our USB-Cs and our outlet back here. So that's all the same, even going down to the SR5, but nicer materials and a little bit of a different color palette. We've got a bit of contrast here between the brown and black.
Yeah, and still all of them have a 40-60 split. So if you wanted like a 40-20-40 split, I guess it's not available, at least here in the 4Runner.
We've made our way through the trims of the 4Runner all the way up here to the TRD Pro. So this is right in line with the Trailhunter for being at the very top of the food chain.
It is.
In the 4Runner lineup.
Yeah, it's the most off-road capable. It also has all the luxury features. And this is more in their lineup for faster speed off-road driving. And we can show you some of the TRD Pro suspension. It's quite unique.
Yeah, so we've actually got these TRD branded upper control arms, which is pretty cool. Obviously, it's a different suspension setup on this than just a standard 4Runner. So we've got Fox suspension here.
Oh, you know what? We have it here. Let's check it out.
Almost like it was set up just for that reason, Andre.
And also they're adjustable. So this is basically the front coilover.
Yep.
It's not super heavy. I mean, you can lift it up. Here in the front of the there's this valve that you could select.
Yeah.
There's 3 settings. Make it a little bit stiffer and a little bit more compliant.
Yeah, and you can see a piggyback reservoir here on the other shock.
Yeah, this is the rear.
Yeah, which is all pretty cool.
Right here.
So this is going to be a big part of the driving characteristics and ride quality that you're going to find on the TRD Pro. It being a higher speed runner, it's going to be very plush over bumps, whoops, even jumps, as we've found out.
Absolutely. And also the TRD Pro and the Trailhunter are also a little bit wider than every other 4Runner, about 3 inches overall.
Can I add in one slight complaint?
What is it?
So on the Trailhunter, these flares, they're flat black, so a little less susceptible to getting scratched.
Yeah.
But here on the TRD Pro, which granted is meant to be more of an open space, desert, high speed kind of rig, but I think if you take this on some tight trails in Colorado as wide as this is, these are going to be a little susceptible to pinstriping. As many similarities as this has to the TRD Pro Tacoma, in its powertrain and some of the different design elements, you'll notice that we don't have here the isodynamic seats, which does free up a little bit of extra leg room in the second row, which is nice.
Yeah, if you have car seats for your kids, child seats, there's anchors right here, and there's some Velcro. Let me get in and let's see if I can be comfy.
Because you're what, more than 6'2"?
Yeah, just about, just almost 6'3". I'm okay. I have just enough headroom, just enough legroom. If these were isodynamic seats,
it'd start to be an issue.
Wouldn't be able to.
For sure.
Sit here.
Yeah, and then on the outside, we've got a much slimmer, well, we don't really have a roof rack. We've got roof rails.
Yeah.
So unlike the Trailhunter, you're not going to have as substantial of a setup up there. But one thing that I do like they've done on the TRD Pro is they've actually stamped TRD Pro into the tailgate. So they didn't go cheap and just put decals on there that's in the sheet metal, and it looks really good.
Exactly, and also this is blacked out, so it's kind of a little bit more dark blacked out theme. This, I haven't seen this yet. This is kind of a performance air intake.
Yeah, it looks good.
TRD. So the TRD Pro and the Trailhunter have a light bar.
Yeah, exactly. We've got these rigid lights that are built into the sides as well, which is pretty nice.
And really nice cutouts. This is about 33 degrees of approach here, and really nice cutout. You can see a lot of tire. There are not a lot of options. You could choose exterior colors and some trim as well. But it's almost, what, 68,000? That's the price.
About, yeah, 67,000, but once you factor in, yeah, the destination, it gets up there pretty quick. And like you said, there's not really a whole lot else that you can option on top of what you get already by speccing either a TRD Pro or a Trailhunter.
Yeah.
As they come, you basically, from there, just pick the color. Because, yeah, we can show you.
But
here
you got
on
to
the
show
inside.
the disconnected sway bar. That's a stabilizer bar in the front.
Yeah, so like the Trailhunter, you've got the sway bar disconnect, you have a rear locker, you've got a lot of camera views. It is a part-time four-wheel drive system, like the more basic four-wheel drive models of the 4Runner. And then you've got multi-terrain select and crawl control and drive modes. You've got heated and ventilated seats, a heated steering wheel, you've got the big screens. So the interior gets you a lot of really nice technology, nice features, nice off-road features. You also get some cool design elements because this is the TRD Pro, TRD branded shifter there.
And the steering wheel as well, really beefy.
Yeah, so it is a good interior. I think this interior is a big improvement over the last generation. And here on the TRD Pro or on the Trailhunter, that's going to be basically the nicest version of the interior you can probably get.
Well, Kase, we saw many new 6th generation 4Runners just now. And which one would be your favorite if you had to choose?
I think my favorite one was whichever one we had the least amount of wind on. No.
Or the most affordable one, right?
Yeah, well, I gotta say, the Trailhunter, even though like this TRD Pro is expensive, that Trailhunter is the right mix of off-road gear for Colorado. So that would be my pick. But this TRD Pro is a close second.
It's impressive, this thing. But once again, you know me, like I like to be frugal with my money. So I think TRD Off-Road is really where it's at for me. Maybe not the hybrid and also not the premium. That way you can get it down to like a $50,000, $51,000 mark. I think that would be my favorite. But let us know what is your favorite, which one would you buy? And of course, check out oldtfl.com for everything automotive in one place.